स्टार्ट्स एबिलिटी, ठीक है। स्टार्ट्स एबिलिटी से मेरा मतलब ये है कि it shall test you on some basic concepts। तो उस तरीके से ये चैप्टर काफी इंटरेस्टिंग और इम्पोर्टेंट, मतलब आई वुड से कि दिस चैप्टर्स कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ठीक है। इसमें कुछ कुछ चीजें हैं जो आपके एग्जाम में मोस्टली आपको इधर उधर हमेशा मिलेगी एंड दे शैल कम इन डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फॉर्म ऑल टुगेदर, ठीक है। चलो, so let's start the chapter. Chapter name, as I said, is Statistical Measures of Returns. Okay. Chapter 3, Statistical Measures of Returns. Okay. The purpose of the chapter is to acquaint you with what kind of return measures that are used by the fund managers to evaluate the fund performance. How can you yourself evaluate a given fund manager at a given point in time? All these things are being discussed in length in this given topic. Okay. The topic starts with a basic discussion on three basic fundamentals of central tendency. Central tendency means the basic representative value. Okay. The basic representative value is called as central tendency. Now, in order to measure this central tendency, we have three major things. One is known as mean, one is known as mode, and one is known as median. Mean basically means the average. Median basically means the middle value. And mode basically means the value that occurs frequently. These are three things that we have: mean, mode, and median. Okay. Basic concept: mean, mode, and median. Now let's understand how do we calculate mean. Mean is nothing but average, and in order to calculate average, what do? We sum all the values, sum of values divided by number of values, and we get the mean of a given data set. Okay. Similarly, in order to calculate the median is the middle value. Simple formula for median: n plus 1 by 2th value is the median. And mode is simply value that occurs most frequently in a data set is mode. Okay. These are three things that we have. To understand them further, let's take a small and easy example. Let's say 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's keep it that way. Okay. Please calculate the mean, the mode, and the median for this. Please calculate the mean, the mode, and the median for this. Everyone, solve this. Take 2 minutes. I think it's an easy question. I don't think this should take much time. Very easy question. All you need to calculate is mean, mode, and median. Mean is sum of all values divided by number of observations. So just add up all the values divided by the number of observations. Then calculate the mode. Let me know when once you have calculated the mean first. Jiska mean aage, please tell me the answer. Simran, bolo.
Sir, 3.
3 is your median, 3 is your mean.
Yes.
Okay, चलो. I've got one answer. What about others? इसमें time लग रहा है क्या तुम लोगों को?
Mode is 1. It's assigned the most of the time.
What is mean कितना आ रहा है?
The median is 4.8.
Median is कितना है? Median कितना है सिमरन?
So 4.1.
4.1.
I mean, sir, 4.5.
चलो ठीक है, ये देख लेते हैं whatever your answer that is coming out to be. ठीक है, चलो. मीन कैसे निकालना है? सम ऑफ ऑल वैल्यूज डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशंस. 1 + 1 + 1 3 + 3 6 9 9 + 4 13 + 5 18 + 6 24. So 24 divided by number of observations. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8. So 24 divided by 8 3. So 3 is the mean. ठीक है. Then we calculate the. एक second, just give me 1 second. That is the mean. Now, how do we calculate the mode? Mode is the value that occurs most frequently. So 3 occurs most frequently over here. So mode shall be 1. ठीक है? Sorry, 1 occurs most frequently over here. So mode shall be 1. And then we calculate the median. Median is n
4.5.
plus 1 by 2th value. So total number of observations is how many? 8. 8 plus 1 by 2 is what? 4.5. Now 4.5 fifth value, 4.5 value is the median. तो वो कैसे निकालेंगे हम? 1 2 3 4. So 4 plus 0.5th value, which means fourth value कौन सा है? 1 2 3. तो 3 है. So 3 plus 0.5 into fifth minus fourth value. Fifth value कौन सी है? Fifth value ये है और fourth value ये है. इन दोनों का difference into 0.5. इन दोनों का difference shall be 0. In the difference shall be 0. 3 minus 3 0 हुआ. 3 plus 0.5 into 0 is 3 again. So median shall be 3. Clear है everyone? Median निकालना समझ में आया? सिमरन, आर्यमन, विवेक?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this was mean, mode, median. Now in the same question, let's say I do a small change. I put one value as 100. ठीक है? मैंने एक small change करा इस question में. I have added one value as 100. Now tell me what all values change. Does the mean change? Does the mode change? Does the median change? Or let's say, let me do one thing. So ठीक है भाई, इसको solve कर फिर उसमें. What's the answer for mean?
13.7.
24 plus 100 divided by 9 हो जाएगा इस बार, तो 124 divided by 9, which is somewhere around 13 point. Makes sense. Mode क्या आ रहा है, median क्या आ रहा है?
The
What is
median
mode?
and
हाँ
mode
बोलो.
is
Median is
3 and mode is 100.
exactly. So the median and the mode doesn't get impacted by the extreme values, but the mean does. So in the case of outliers, 100 is an outlier in the data set, right? काफी extreme है वो.
Yes.
So in the case of outliers, the median doesn't get impacted, the mode doesn't get impacted, but the mean does. ठीक है? चलो. Now let's understand the concept of dispersion. Acha, before moving on to dispersion, I want to discuss one more thing. Let's say x is a variable which has following values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. X is a data set which has the following values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please calculate the mean of x. The symbol of mean is x bar. So please calculate the mean of x. What is the mean of x? इसका mean निकालना कितना है?
Three.
What is the answer?
3. The 3.
Three.
6 plus 4, 10, 15 by 3, 15 by 5, sorry. 3. So mean is 3. Now imagine that if I add plus 1 to all the values, which means that it becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what is the mean? Please tell me. Now what is the mean?
Sir, 4.
4. Exactly. The mean is 4. Now if I multiply all the x values by 2, then what is the mean? Which means that x becomes 2x. So now the values are 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Now calculate the mean, please.
6.
6. So one thing that we have understood now is that as I am changing the x, okay, which means if I'm adding 1, then the means also increase by 1. If I'm increasing mean by 2, okay, or I mean if I'm multiplying the values by 2, the mean also changes by twice. So that is how mean behaves. If you add something, it will increase accordingly. If you multiply it with something, it will increase. It will change accordingly. Okay, this is a very important property that you should always remember, as it shall come handy later when we talk about dispersion. Okay. Now let's talk about dispersion. In fact, dispersion is basically the variability in the data. Dispersion is nothing but the variability in the data, how the data varies, how the data moves, how the data varies around the central points, how the data varies around the central points, or what is the variability around the central tendency. That is dispersion. That is dispersion. Okay. So the first measure of dispersion is range. The first measure of dispersion is range. Range basically means highest value minus lowest value. That is range. Highest value in the data minus the lowest value in the data is range. What is the range in this data? What is the range in this data? इस डेटा की रेंज क्या है?
4.
4. 5 minus 1 is 4. ठीक है? So that is the first measure of dispersion, which is range. The second measure of dispersion that we have is MED, which is mean absolute deviation. Mean absolute deviation. Mean absolute deviation का मतलब क्या है? Summation xi minus x bar divided by n, which means that let's say अगर मेरे को जो given scenario था, जो given data set था, which is x equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6, इसका मीन एब्सोल्यूट डेविएशन निकाल दो. कैसे निकाल सकता हूँ? 1 2 3 4 5 5 ही तक था, 6 नहीं था ना? ठीक है, इसका मीन कितना आ रहा है? 3. अब मैं सबसे पहले निकालूंगा xi माइनस एक्स बार. xi माइनस एक्स बार का मॉड, मीन एब्सोल्यूट डेविएशन. ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है? मॉड मतलब नेगेटिव वैल्यू होगी तो भी पॉजिटिव आएगी और पॉजिटिव वैल्यू होगी तो पॉजिटिव आनी है. विच मीन्स xi माइनस एक्स बार 1 माइनस 3 करो कितना होता है? व्हाट इज 1 माइनस 3? -2. बट सिंस यहाँ पे मॉड है तो यहाँ पे वैल्यू कितनी आएगी? 2. इजी से समझ में आई? मीन एब्सोल्यूट डेविएशन में एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू लेनी है आपको हमेशा. पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव साइन से फर्क नहीं पड़ता. सिमरन, आर्यमन, विवेक, मयंक, क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
फिर से explain करना.
क्या हुआ सिमरन, क्या कह रही है?
फिर वाला फिर से explain करना.
हाँ, एक मीन एब्सोल्यूट डेविएशन का फॉर्मूला पहले समझ में आया? xi माइनस एक्स बार, जो भी वैल्यू होगी उसको अपने मीन से सबट्रैक्ट करना है. ठीक है,
Yes, sir.
और फिर उसका मॉड लेना. मॉड का मतलब होता है, एब्सोल्यूट का मतलब होता है कि अगर मान ली तेरा आंसर आ रहा है -5, xi माइनस एक्स बार करने पे आ रहा है -5, तो भी तू वैल्यू क्या लेगी? 5. माइनस साइन इग्नोर करेगी.
Okay.
ओके, 2 माइनस 3 कितना हुआ? -1. बड़ा -1 ले गए, 1 ले गए?
1.
1. यहाँ पे 0. 4 माइनस 3 कितना हुआ? 1. पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव से फर्क नहीं पड़ता. 1 एंड ये 2. अब इस साइन का मतलब, ये जो साइन होता है ना, बार बार आएगा आपके, ये जो साइन ऐसा होता है, इसका मतलब होता है सम. सम ऑफ ऑल द xi माइनस एक्स बार के मॉड की जो वैल्यूज आ रही है उन सबको ऐड कर दो. तो इन सबको ऐड करो, कितना हुआ? 2 + 1 3 4 6 हुआ. समेशन xi माइनस एक्स बार की वैल्यू कितनी आ गई? 6 डिवाइड बाय 5 इक्वल्स टू 1.2. तो हम ये बोल सकते हैं कि ऑन एवरेज जो डेटा है उसमें अपने मीन से डेविएट 1.2 बार होता है या 1.2 यूनिट्स होता है. ऑन एवरेज द डेटा deviates from its mean value by 1.2 units. This is mean absolute deviation. कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हुआ? समझ में आया? आर्यमन, मयंक, सिमरन, विवेक?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सिमरन
Yes, sir.
समझ पा रही है? आफ्टर मीन एप्स. अच्छा, लेट्स डू वन थिंग. एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व भी कर लो ताकि मैं कोई कॉन्फिडेंस रहे that you guys are comfortable with this. 30 12 25 20 and 23. ठीक है, these are the x values. Calculate the range and calculate the mean absolute deviation of this data. इसका रेंज कैलकुलेट करो, मीन एब्सोल्यूट डेविएशन निकालो उसका 30, 12, 25, 20, 23.
The range is 18.
क्या?
The range is 18.
Range is 18. हाँ, correct. You're right. Range is 18. Absolutely correct. Highest minus lowest value. Now calculate the mean absolute deviation.
Sir, 4.8.
4.8.
2.8 answer. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Everyone able to solve till now? 4.8 is
Yes.
the right answer. Okay. Chalo. After the mean absolute deviation comes the concept of standard deviation. Okay. Comes the concept of standard deviation. Standard deviation goes one step further in the sense that instead of calculating the mod values, it squares those values. भाई नेगेटिव साइन ही हटाना है ना, तो आप क्या करो, उनको स्क्वायर कर दो. समेशन xi minus x bar whole square divided by n, that is, and then the square root of this. This is the standard deviation. Okay. Instead of placing a modulus over here, now I am squaring those values, adding them up and dividing by n. This is standard deviation. Iska and under root is a standard deviation. This part, summation xi minus x bar ka whole square divided by n, is called as variance. And standard deviation is nothing but under root variance. Okay, under square root variance. Now comes one more part, which is that when we are calculating the variance or the standard deviation, sometimes we have n as a denominator. Sometimes we have n as the denominator. But whenever we are calculating sample variance, we have to use a denominator n minus 1. Instead of n, we have to use n minus 1. Okay. So whenever we are calculating sample variance or sample standard deviation, we have to put denominator as n minus 1. Always make it a point. Okay. Now do one thing. In the same question, which we have solved over here, in the same question, calculate the variance and the standard deviation, please. Calculate its variance and standard deviation. Calculate its variance and standard deviation. And sample standard deviation, sample variance, not population. Okay. Population may we use n as a denominator. Population may we use n as the denominator, and sample may we use n minus 1. So I want sample standard deviation. Okay. Done.
So can you show the question? I'd like to know.
Sorry.
I would like to know the question, sir.
You would like to?
The question, the set. I need to match what I've written.
Like, what do you need to match?
So I'm getting an error in my calculator. I need to see if I have written the right values in my question.
What are the values that you put?
30, 12, 18, and 24.
It's
No, tell
not
me the
18,
main
it's 25.
30, 12, 25, 20, 23. Done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's your answer, Simran?
So the answer is 5.91.
This is your variance or standard deviation?
Standard deviation.
Okay, ठीक है. मयंक विवेक तुम्हारा आंसर क्या आ रहा है? तो मुंह में दही जमा के रखते हो दोनों को तो. चलो सॉल्व करते हैं. 30, 12, 25, 20, and 23. These are values that we had, right? इनका कैलकुलेट करते हैं मीन. तो 30 plus 12, 42, 42 plus 23 कितना हुआ? 65, 65 plus 20, 90, 110. 110 divided by 5 is 22. So 22, 22, 22, 22, and 22. Then as per the formula, we have summation xi minus x bar का whole square divided by n minus 1. So xi minus x bar का whole square, so 30 minus 22, 8. 8 का square is 64. 12 minus 22, 22 is minus 10. Minus 10 का square is 100. 25 minus 22, 3. 3 का square is 9. 20 minus 2, minus 2. Minus 2 का square is 4. 23 minus 1, 23 minus 22, 1. 1 का square is 1. This is summation xi minus x bar का whole square. This is xi minus x bar का whole square. Now I have to add it all. मेरे को add करना पड़ेगा सबको. So 164 plus 1, 165,
178.
178. Shabash. 178. Now I have to divide 178 by n minus 1. N is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. सिमरन कितना आ रहा है?
तो मैंने -1 किया.
-1 करना ना, मैं बोला था सैंपल वेरिएंस है.
सैंपल वाले में तो 44.5.
44.5.
and the
44.5
standard
is my
deviation.
44.5 is my
44.5, sir.
exactly
Yes,
variance.
sir.
ठीक है. And under root 44.5 is my standard deviation.
6.6.
Exactly. Whatever your answers coming out to be. ठीक है. I hope the concept is thorough and there in your mind now. Yeah, बहुत.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Now let's move to the next concept, which is another measure of dispersion, जिसे हम बोलते हैं टारगेट डाउनसाइड डेविएशन. अब इसका मतलब क्या होता है? देखो, जब हम whenever as a fund manager you are evaluating your returns, if the xi minus x bar, this is positive, will you be bothered? If the xi minus x bar comes out to be positive, which means that you are making returns more than the average. If xi minus x bar means positive, that means you have made a return more than the average. Will you be bothered? Will it make you stressed? Yes or no? Plain silence. What I mean to ask is, let's say x represents the returns which you have made, and you calculate x bar, which is the mean of those returns or average return, and then you go on to calculate x minus x bar. Okay. So let's say you are doing this to calculate mean, absolute deviation, or standard deviation, whatever. Okay. Now my simple question to you is, if this comes out to be positive, is it a problem for you?
No, sir.
Obviously not, yeah. Obviously not. Absolutely. Why? Because I'm making returns more than the average. That is a good scenario. This is a problem for me only when it is negative. Only when it is negative. Okay? Only when I am getting xi minus x bar to be negative, only then I have a problem. Only then I will be worried. So target downside deviation क्या करता है? What does target downside deviation ask you is that it asks you to calculate standard deviation or deviation in only those cases where you are getting a negative value of this, only in those situations you are needed to be concerned. Otherwise, you need to ignore the scenario, which means that if let's say the same question is there, okay, x is 30, 12, 25, 20 and 23, and x bar is 22, 22, 22, 22 and 22. Xi minus x bar, this is positive, so I need to ignore this. This is negative, this is positive, I need to ignore. This is negative, and this is positive, so I need to ignore this. Now I just need to calculate summation xi minus b upon n minus 1. B is the return which I want to have. So in this case, it was mean. So I only focus on situations where this xi minus x bar is negative, which is in this case or in this case. The square of xi minus x bar is 10 ka square is 100. So 100 plus 4 divided by 4, which is 104 divided by 4 is how much? 26 under root is what I need to focus on. Target downside deviation basically means that you only focus on situations where return is negative. Rest of things you just totally ignore. And then calculate the standard deviation, that is target downside deviation. Is it clear? Simran, Mayank, Aryaman, समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सिमरन,
पीछे बताना
क्या बोल रहे हो?
सर ये वाला फिर से एक्सप्लेन करना
बेटा तू जब तक नहीं समझ में आया तो बोल दिया ना, मेरे को पूछना क्यों पड़ता है बार बार, ये कह रहा हूँ मैं. बोल दिया सामने से कि सर नहीं समझ में आया ये, ठीक है. देख, स्टैंडर्ड डिविजन समझ में आया था.
यस सर
स्टैंडर्ड डिविजन में हम क्या करते हैं, अगर एक्स एम एस एक्स बार पॉजिटिव आ रहा है तो भी हम कैलकुलेट कर रहे थे स्क्वायर, नेगेटिव आ रहा है तो भी हम पूरा कैलकुलेट कर रहे थे.
यस सर
अब इसमें क्या करना है, इसमें केवल उन्हीं केसेस में कैलकुलेट करना है जहाँ एक्स एम एस एक्स बार नेगेटिव आ रहा है. समझ में आया?
ओके
ठीक है, तो बस उन्हीं केस में स्क्वायर्स करके कैलकुलेट करना है, अदरवाइज बाकी केस में इग्नोर करना है. ठीक है,
ठीक है
बस दैट इज योर टारगेट डाउनसाइड डेविएशन. ठीक है, do one thing, come to module quiz 3.1, and solve question 3, page number 48. I'm sharing my screen if you don't have the book. Who else, please don't solve it. I'm here only. Done.
So just doing it. Just calculating, sir.
Take your time. Done. Simran. Mayank. Question 2 done.
Sir, question 2, I'm getting the answer of 8, 9.8.
Okay. Simran तुम्हारा. सिमरन आंसर आया.
Sorry,
कैसे निकाला? मीन कितना आ रहा है सिमरन?
लेक्चर मैंने क्वेश्चन थर्ड कर लिया.
क्या?
So, मैंने क्वेश्चन थर्ड कर लिया.
थर्ड भी सेम ही है. मीन तो उसमें निकाल.
So मीन आया मेरा 9.66.
9.66.
66.
22 plus 5, 27 minus 7, 20, 11, 31, 33 और 43. 43 डिवाइड बाय 6 करा होगा. क्या कर रहे हो यार? -7 है वो, 7 नहीं है.
7.33 है ना सर.
तुम 40 के देना, ये तो बच्चों वाली चीज है एकदम. इसमें सेकंड थॉट आने नहीं चाहिए इस क्वेश्चन में। अभी कर अपन ऐसा एक क्वेश्चन।
So can you please tell us the third question?
आई एम डूइंग दैट आल्सो। 22, 5 minus 7, 11, 2 and 11. X bar is 7.33. xi minus x bar का होल स्क्वायर इज 22 minus 7.33 कितना हुआ? 14.67 का स्क्वायर माइनस 2.33 का स्क्वायर माइनस पॉइंट सॉरी माइनस 14.3 माइनस 14.33 का स्क्वायर, ये कितना हुआ? 3.67 का स्क्वायर 5.33 का स्क्वायर और 3.67 का स्क्वायर. These are the values that you're getting. Add up these values and divide by n minus 1. That is the standard deviation that you should get. Simple. इसी तरीके आपको स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन निकालना है. इससे वेरिएंस आएगा, वेरिएंस को अंडर रूट करोगे स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन आ जाएगा. सिंपल. इसमें मेरा आउट है सिमरन.
No, sir.
ठीक है. अब सिमिलरली टारगेट डाउनसाइड डेविएशन निकालना है तो ये देख लो एक्स आई माइनस एक्स बार नेगेटिव कहाँ आ रहा है. ठीक है. क्वेश्चन 3 जो है इसके बाद इसमें पॉजिटिव आ रहा है तो ये इग्नोर करेंगे, इसमें नेगेटिव आ रहा है तो उसको कंसिडर करेंगे, यानी ये वाली वैल्यू कंसिडर करनी है. इसमें नेगेटिव आ रहा है तो ये वाली वैल्यू कंसिडर करनी है. इसमें पॉजिटिव आ रहा है इसको इग्नोर करो, इसमें नेगेटिव आ रहा है ये वाली वैल्यू कंसिडर करेंगे, इसमें पॉजिटिव आ रहा है इसको इग्नोर करो. तो 1 2 3 ये तीनों का जो स्क्वायर करके वैल्यू आ रही है डिवाइड बाय n माइनस 1. बस दैट इज टारगेट डाउनसाइड डेविएशन. उसमें देख लेना टारगेट डाउनसाइड डेविएशन में मीन की जगह कोई एक फिक्स वैल्यू तो नहीं दे रखी, ये वो देख लेता हूँ क्वेश्चन में. अच्छा 11% दे रखा, सॉरी 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 सॉरी. थर्ड क्वेश्चन में क्या करना पड़ेगा, 11% दे रखा है तो उस केस में 22 5 माइनस 7 11 0 और 11. यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी बी दे रखा है 11 तो यहाँ 11 के रेफरेंस से चले गए. अब एक्स आई माइनस बी कितना आ रहा है, यहाँ पॉजिटिव आ रहा है तो 0 हो जाएगा, यहाँ नेगेटिव आ रहा है -6 -18 0 -11 0. इसका स्क्वायर कितना हुआ 36 324 और 121. इन तीनों को ऐड करो डिवाइड बाय 5 इज योर टारगेट डाउनसाइड डेविएशन. सिंपल. और उसका अंडर रूट इज योर टारगेट डाउनसाइड डेविएशन. सिमरन क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. चलो एक काम करते हैं, लेट्स पॉज द क्लास ओवर हियर